Yes, you are now in tune on the one, the force itself at this time. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Christadelphia. Greetings in the name of Un Amatu. Some call her Gaia. Some call her Tiamat. Some call her Mother Earth. The planets are lining up. They're bringing brighter days. They're all in line waiting for you. The planets are lining up. We're bringing brighter days. They're all in line waiting for you. Can't you see? You're just another part of me. Michael Jackson. I'm not one to make believe. I know that leaves are green. They only turn to brown when autumn comes around. Stevie Wonder. Today's reasoning session is brought to you today by Lapis and of course Amber. So Amber and Lapis is working together, collaborating for this reasoning session today. We got a lot to reason about. I'm gonna keep this one brief. I don't want to get too long-winded. Sometimes I drift off, and there's no one here to say, "Hey, snap out of it, get back," you know. So anyway, of course, once again, blue stones are good for communication, or the Mercury aspect, or any other deity associated to Mercury, Thoth, Jehudi, whatever the case may be. And of course, Amber. Amber is the stone that helps you tap into the memory, your memory, the collective memory, the Akashic records, what they call it, or what Brother Ashra Kwesi used to call the ancestral memory bank. Shout outs to Ashra Kwesi. Now, blue stones, period, sodalite, or any particular blue stone, blue agate, whatever the case may be, blue lace agate. Blue stones are for the blue light, for communication, you know what I mean? Communication with the divine, communication with the higher self, communication with spirits, communication with whatever you want to communicate with, a little more clearer. See? Anyway, so before I reason with you guys, I just don't jump into a reasoning session with you guys. I like to, tap into the blue light a little bit before every reasoning session somehow, so that I can communicate the best that I can, something that's coming from the divine. And since this language is so filthy, sometimes it's hard to translate divine thought into a filthy language. So I try my best to use this English language to translate divine thoughts. Or at least most of some of my thoughts are just jokes, you know what I mean? But even my jokes are divine, okay? Do you think that the Creator does not have a sense of humor? Anyway. Now, today Now, I like to give references, I said before, to songs. A lot of people always go back to the Bible or the Quran or some type of book. That's cool. I'm not that guy. I'm not some scholarly guy that always has to present a particular book to you for a good reference. Even though I can, I like to be a little different and a little unique. So when I reason based upon a lot of time what people said in their lyrics or things that I've seen in a movie or something more recent than 2,000 years ago, and maybe then give a reference to something more ancient that's relevant to that. Now, today we're going to be reasoning about Bob Marley's song or message. Just like Michael Jackson said, we're sending out a major love, and this is our message to you. The planets are lining up. See? He literally said that. He said, we're sending out a major love, and this is our message to you. Who is the R? He said, this is plural. This is not just him. What force or what? Who is the us that Michael Jackson is talking about? See? He said, we're sending out a major love, and this is our message to you. See? So, what was Michael channeling? Well, in that song, he was talking about planetary alignment. So, that's not the song we're reasoning about. I was using that to say he said that was his message. So, this message from Bob Marley in the song Natural Mystic. This is, and you know, for those coming from the Rastafari community, this is old news. You know about this song. But this is like, you know, a warning. This is a message. You know, a lot of, I reason a lot with a lot of Bob Marley lyrics versus books. Because, you know, I feel that not just Bob Marley, but a lot of the reggae lyrics that I've heard from different elders are relevant to what's going on today. So yes, I reason with music and not just reggae music. See, so but this is a reggae song, and it's called Natural Mystic. You can Google the original version of Natural Mystic Bob Marley, and you can Google you could put in Natural Mystic by Marley, regular. So, he goes on to say, though I try to find all the answers, or though I try to find the answers to all the questions that you ask, I know it's impossible to go living through the past. They keep them down. There's a natural mystic blowing through the air. If you listen carefully, you will hear. This could be the first trumpet. Might as well be the last. Many more will have to suffer. Many more will have to die. Don't ask me why. I say things are not the way they used to be. Won't tell no lie. One and all has to face reality now. He said, all of us, one and all, we all have to face reality now. He goes on to say, though I try to find all the answers to your questions, I know it's impossible to go living through the past. They keep them down, y'all. Listen to what Bob Marley says in that song. And this is, of course, Christadelphia homework. Please go listen to that song. Why? Because it is crucial for you at this time. Maybe not 20 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. Right now, you really have to take heed to the warnings and the signs and the symbols that some of these artists was giving in their music. See? Now, what is a natural mystic? He goes on to say, if you listen carefully, now you will hear. Now, if you Google this particular subject matter, if you put in weird sounds coming from the sky, if you put in trumpet sounds or strange trumpet sounds coming from the sky, weird noises coming from the sky, whatever the case may be, if you keep Googling, but just put in strange or weird trumpet sounds coming from the sky, and you will stumble across a lot of stuff on YouTube, and you will see people all around the world. This is a phenomena of this big trumpet-like sounding thing, or whatever, this big sound coming from the sky that sounds like Godzilla, literally. Now, this is not just some philosophy here now about something that was written in a text. This is actually something that's happening now, and people are pulling out their cell phones and using the technology that they have now to record the sound. So you can see that this is not some myth. This is a reality. And it literally sounds like Godzilla sometimes. And it does have a little trumpet type of sound, or like almost like you can throw it into like an intro to a meditation too. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, what the hell is going on? Now, as an analyst, that caught my attention. For those who are just walking around blindly, whatever, that might not intrigue, but if you heard that sound yourself, it would freak you out. You know what I mean? So, there are at this time literal fucking trumpets coming from the sky, y'all. I mean, how much more clear can Bob Marley music be than right now? He said this could be the first trumpet, might as well be the last. And simultaneously, as we have trumpets coming from the sky, we have a fucking president named Donald Trump. If you put an et to Trump, is trumpet. So now, what could the argument be? As an analyst, yes, you have to analyze everything. You have to say, is this a fucking hoax? Because it has hoax-like, it has hoax-like potential to it. Because why the fuck? And excuse my language, but this is powerful right now, man. For those of you who are not paying attention, how can you not pay attention to some shit like that? You walking down the street smoking a spliff one day, and then the sky starts crying out like Godzilla. I guarantee you go put that spliff out and say, oh, wait a minute. What's going on, y'all? Something ain't right. But everybody's still trapped in their gadgets and their whatever gadget that they got. They gave these kids toys now, so no one's paying attention now. So, anyway, but this is some real shit, man. It's all over the news. This is not even some conspiracy. As you have, the regular local newscasters are like, what the fuck is that noise? You know what I mean? People calling in like, there's the strange noise coming from the sky to Channel 10 and Channel 6. And they like, what the fuck is going on? Now, could it be a hoax? Yes, that's one. We have to analyze every aspect of this because it's important. whether there is it is a hoax or not, it's fucking trumpets playing right now. So there's someone, whether it's fucking God, extraterrestrials, or someone playing a fucking hoax, someone is trying to get you to hear something. So this is where I have to say, ye that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say to the church of Philadelphia. Ye that has an ear, let him literally hear those sounds coming from the sky, dog. What? I mean, this is crazy. So, what are these trumpets? Now, am I going to preach to you about the book of Revelations? I think you guys in 2019 done heard it all about the book of Revelations. But as I reasoned with you guys before about allegories and culture and mythology, and how my elder, who they call Bobby Hemmett, another Bob, carried a Bob energy, like myself. So Bobby explained how, history or antiquity is preserved in the mythology and not just in the books about actual history, but the mythology is the history. So as I reasoned with you guys before, if you ever watched my reasoning session about allegory and truth, how behind every allegory there is a truth. Now, when you are looking at a myth or something preserved in the culture, and they preserve their folklore by passing down stories about the phenomena of nature and things of that nature. When you cross-reference other cultures and see that multiple cultures are speaking about the same thing or giving reference to the same thing, but the story might be a little bit different, but they're all giving reference to the same type of trumpets coming out of the sky. You dig what I'm saying? Here, I wrote it down for you guys. Hold on one second. If you ever get a chance, go to YouTube and type this in. ASAP. When I say ASAP, I mean like, you can stop listening to me right now and go look this up. I'd rather you listen to what this guy's saying even more than what I'm saying. Because I want people to see that I ain't crazy. Forget what I'm saying. Go check that out for yourself. Please. It's definitely a natural mystic blowing through the air. If you listen carefully, now you will hear. And I broke down the Kabbalistic essence of the Church of Philadelphia a long time in one of my older reasoning sessions, and explained how that Church of Philadelphia is the third eye, and those churches represented in the book of Revelation represent different energy centers in your body. The red light, blue light, green light, whatever. They call them chakras, I call them lights. See? So that's why I always say, ye that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say to the Church of Philadelphia. See, from a more Kabbalistic perspective and not, your everyday religious perspective. So I try to stay away from biblical and Quranic and other types of folklore sometimes, and just stick to the music. But they are all connected, see? you know, and this is our message to you. See? So, whenever there's a time where you hear trumpets playing in the sky, you must take heed to this and pay and try to decode this. Because, for one, could it be the manifest destiny guys with a big fucking speaker somewhere and just playing this big speaker of Godzilla and fooling the people and making us be like, what the fuck is going on? It sounds like Godzilla in the sky. That could be a hoax, yes. But even if it is a hoax, why the hell would they do that? It's a good one. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? Got him. Is it one of them? These manifest destiny guys are funny too, you know. Of course, we already know about that for those who've been keeping up. But two, whether it's manifest destiny or whatever, some type of special phenomena happening in the sky, it's happening and you have to investigate. If you heard an alarm going off, wouldn't you investigate to see what the hell is going on? It sounds like an alarm to me. See? And what happens with people when they set an alarm? You get mad at the alarm as if you didn't set it to wake you up. You smack it off the dresser. Rawr, fucking alarm. Don't get mad at the alarm for waking you up. You set it. And as people, as Aboriginal people, we set alarms to alarm us in a time period where we are dead sleep. We set that alarm. See? And these alarms go off. The spirit world speaks through us at times through symbolism, signs and symbols that we never pick up and we never read. Stick-necked fools, and once again, stiff-necked fools never learn until they burn. And brimstone and fire blaze them. See? So, what was Bob Marley talking about? You know, this happened. This song came out a long time ago. This could be the first trumpet. It might as well be the last. In that particular video that I showed you to watch, Flat Earth, Dark Rift, Dome Myth, and Cataclysm, will go a little bit deeper and a little bit more profound than what because that's the natural, you know, they're teaching. I don't teach, guys. I just reason with you guys. And I tell you, guys, I give references, you know, I reason with you and tell you, hey, listen, this is where you can get this information. Don't believe me. See, you know, a lot of people teaching. And if you ask Rastaman if I'm trying to kick knowledge, no. I'm trying to show you some things that you can apply. See? Anyway, what they call the Dark Rift, or what common mortals also call the Milky Way galaxy, is not what you guys perceive it to be. As it says in the Lotus Sutra, this Saha world is not what you perceive it to be. See? So, this particular galaxy, or what we call the Milky Way galaxy, or what they call the Great Rift, or the Dark Rift, or whatever you want to call that crack in the sky, because that's what it is. When you observe things with a telescope yourself, you are now observing this luminary and not just going by some secondhand observation, or going by what somebody else observed, and you're now listening to secondhand information, not as the observer, but as the one who's listening to the one who observed. There's nothing wrong with that. I take second hand, third down, fourth down, handed down, or whatever. It's cool. But I like to go to the root, I like to go to the source, and I like to go to the force. See? So, Um, this galaxy, or what you perceive to be a galaxy, or the Milky Way, is a split in the sky that is also a representation. That is also a opening, a vortex where things come in. It's a sealed up. Like, I don't know if anyone ever did cement work and you get a crack in or excuse me, do concrete work and you get a crack in the concrete and you gotta, seal up a crack. So you patch it up, or people who do it's a crack in the dome that was sealed up, patched up. It is a opening where things pour down from this at times. So if it is a Milky Way, it might pour out milk. No, it's not a galaxy. It's if you're looking at it from a helio perspective illusion, then okay. But from a dome perspective, see, it is a crack in the dome. So many cultures outside of your biblical school of thought, many cultures have given reference to this great rift or this dark rift and it opening and how cataclysm happens. Before cataclysms, we are giving warnings, we're giving signs. We are giving a natural mystic blowing through the air to warn us. Where they say civilizations disappeared before cataclysms, they knew where to go. They knew the safe spots. They knew to go to the center of the earth as well, where we all come from, and then come back out. You have beings that, all throughout history or her story, people always would warn the masses about events before they would happen. See? And this is not a fear tactic. This is nothing to fear, guys. And I know we've been bombarded with all types of fear and all types of end of the world fuckery. And the world never ended. This is not about an ending of the world. This is about a reset. This is about a cleansing. The end of the world was the end of the perception of the world. And our perception of this world is changing based upon our awareness now that the world does not look like what we've been taught or told that it was. And since our perception is now changing of the world, it now changes the world. Our perception of the world always changes the world. Our minds are connected to the reality. So, we've been told that, hey, the world looks like this. Remember, there's a difference between the world and the planet, or the plane. So, but our planet or world that's on the planet looks like this. So now that we perceive it in a more proper and truthful way versus the illusion, we are starting to align ourselves with the earth herself, Amatu. Our awareness is shifting now to the earth. For all of you astrologers who never talk about the energy that they receive from the earth, they always talk about the energy that they receive from Uranus or all them other luminaries. That's cool. I'm not hating on you. But listen to the earth, stargazers. And you're not even gazing at the stars. You're not looking at these luminaries. You're just picking up energy from, Venus somehow. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. Don't neglect the earth in your astrology. That's all I'm saying. Just because it's not floating up there in the sky. But hey, I thought it was, according to your you know what I mean? Whatever it is, you know what I mean? Since we're not floating up in the sky with all the other astro shit, you know what I mean? Don't neglect the earth. Whatever the case may be. Well anyway. The plane that we call Earth. See, she is... If all of those other planets are gods and goddesses, or named after Greek gods, why isn't the Earth not a god or goddess herself? And the closest one to us. You must hear her. I reasoned about this before. Yes, I'm bringing this up again. Because she's speaking now. But ye that has an ear, let them hear what the spirit of the earth is saying at this time. This fucking trumpet's playing in the sky. So yeah, it could be the manifest destiny, guys. But what is it that they're trying to manifest? That can't be good news either. If it's them, they're always up to no good. Or if it ain't them, it still doesn't sound that great either, because it sounds like warning. It's like fucking the dude popping out the sky and just said message. You know what I mean? So, but I can say it could be the first trumpet. It might as well be the last. Now, my personal, and I try not to go about how I feel versus what I know, but I must share this with you guys. And really, it's really not important to you, and to me it is. I've heard this sound in a dream before, and I've had dreams. I had multiple dreams in my life where I was in a day on Earth where nighttime never came. It was just like everybody came outside and was like, what the fuck happened? And what happened to nighttime? Why did the sun not go down? Like, you know what I mean? I remember this dream. And the funny thing about it, you know, I know this experience is only for myself, but I'm sharing it. But I've had this experience several times. You know, so it's you know, and I remember hearing that sound in the sky. I remember this. You know, that's me tapping into my ancestral memory bank somehow through the dream world. I don't know. Some things I don't know. I feel it. You know what I mean? But as Bob Marley said, he who feels it knows it. See? You already know, man. You are now in tune on the one that forced itself at this time. And if there are trumpets coming out of the clouds and you don't really care about it, then you are definitely sucked into the matrix. You just know all of the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't bring these pussy all of them back together again. See, it ain't gonna happen. Sorry to sound like that, but I had to make sure you guys were paying attention. See? So, let's playing with you guys, man. It's so serious you have to laugh, though. If you don't have a sense of humor in this, you will probably lose your mental. See? Anyway, so comedy is also, or laughology, it's definitely a therapy. Anyway. Yeah, so check out Flat Earth, Dark Rift, Dome Myth, and Cataclysm. And mind you, I have to keep saying this. This is not about fear, because I hate that. Everybody always trying to promote some more new shit to be scared about. One and all have to face reality now. We've disturbed the equilibrium of this plane. And when we do that, when we build these metropolitan areas, it disturbs the equilibrium of nature. We are not supposed to live in metropolitan areas condensed and piled up on top of each other. That itself is an abomination to nature. because we originally were all supposed to have abundance and some space. And there's plenty of it. And it's not in the sky. Not that space. But anyway. What is this noise that's happening? I want you to check it out. Listen to it yourself. Listen to that sound Godzilla making that movie. And you be like, whoa. Maybe some reptile did fucking stumble across some chemical somewhere in a Schuylkill and is screaming out. Or it's some spooky shit going on. But it's not to be feared. It is a warning because there is a natural mystic blowing through the air. And if you listen carefully now, you will hear. This could literally this time. Now this ain't no just some Bob Marley, oh, he smoked a spliff now. He's just out there just, getting mystic on you, no. He was channeling something, wasn't he? Because there are trumpets blowing in the sky at this time. So, hey, I'm not trying to give these manifest destiny dudes no power. At the same time, I do know that it has been spoken upon before it happened, and this is this noise has also been spoken about in many cultures, and the things that pour out of this crack in the sky, because that rift is a crack, or it's an opening, because what happens is during the new birth, our sun dies, and the black sun that dwells in the center of the earth rises up and becomes the new sun. The sun that we see. We can't see the black sun now. The sun that we see now will fade away. Its time will clock out, and the Mother Earth will give birth to a new sun, which is the black sun now. Right now, it's in the womb. It hasn't been birthed yet, and this sun hasn't died yet. So when this sun dies, there's another sun that's being born right behind it. It's the black sun is right there. You know what I mean? So those northern lights is that black sun for the 1000th time. For you northern lighters, or Boris Ariellis, I couldn't get it out right, but you know what I'm talking about. I got tongue tied. But anyway, you already know. You know what the northern light is. We already reasoned about all this. But it's that black sun. So, everything is lining up, and I've heard the sound in my dreams, and I've seen certain things in my dreams. It's just like, wow, am I living this, really happening? But I want you to observe these sounds. I want you to listen to the song Natural Mystic. And I don't want to preach to you. I want you to come up with your own perception of what you think those sounds are. Is it Godzilla? You tell me. I don't want to push my, I wouldn't say belief, but knowing on you. I am going to let you know what I know, but I ain't going to push what I know. Because I want you to know for yourself, and not because I told you. That's where, you do your own homework. But those sounds are really coming from the sky now. You know what I mean? Or it could just be a hoax. Either way, it's still a warning. As we know, there's truth behind all allegory, seen? And but when you cross-reference and you start to see that Greece and Mexico and everybody around the world start giving reference to certain things, then the actual story might be a myth, but the myth is based upon an actual event that happened, and that's the way that culture mythologized that particular event. So we always use mythology per se as a form of telling history or her story. We might lose the books, but somehow those mythologies keep popping back up because it's based upon the mythos. And all of the records are preserved in the Akashic records that you can tap into at any given moment. That's your birthright. See? So, if you listen carefully, you will hear there's a natural mystic blowing through the air. Please check out those noises. I ain't trying to scare you, just trying to prepare you. Yes, I.